Okay, Kirstin Taylor, welcome to Perfect Health on Elastic FM with Elaine Godley. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Elaine.
You have an interesting story. Normally, when I start interviewing with people, I normally start with what they're currently doing and then work backwards. But as I've said to you, after reading about you, I think it's probably easier and might make more sense if we started at the beginning. So you're an American living in London.
Mm-hmm.
And whereabouts in America were you from? Where were you born?
I'm from a really small town called Ellicott, Colorado, which is outside of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Colorado Springs is the second largest city in Colorado after Denver. And I grew up really in the middle of nowhere on the prairie. So no close neighbors, just open land, very bumpy road. So every day when we left our road and came home, it was like a rodeo. It was like lots of bumps. So yeah, very small town, ranching, farming community. Where I would mention where my family's from historically, and there's a road named after my family there even. So.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And what was the expectation? And what do people who live in that town in Colorado do normally? You end up something to do with the ranches, I guess.
They stay in the town normally. My brothers are on a 5,000 acre cattle ranch in the same community. So normally people, stay with the land and they do something related to that. My parents live in the city now in Colorado Springs, but most of the time people stay out in the rural area.
Okay, so what brought you to escape from that environment? What led you to escape?
Excuse me. Well, it's a long story. I went to, we call it undergrad. I went to my first degree program, my first university in the same town that in Colorado Springs. And I studied art and French. But it's an international school. So there were people from all over the world. And I got kind of inspired, I guess you could say. So I studied in France. Excuse me. My junior year, so third year of university, studied in France, and just started to be aware of the world and different languages, different cultures, and I just fell in love with it. So I decided to go to law school in New Orleans with the intention of always moving back to France because I really loved it there. And then when I was in law school, I met my ex-husband, who is part British and had family here. And so, long story short, he was going to move to California, and I convinced him to move to London because I just thought it sounded really glamorous and exciting and fun and international and so different from where I come from. So we came here 15 years ago, and the marriage didn't work out, unfortunately, as that happens sometimes. But I decided to stay, and so I'm here. And that's kind of what brought me to London, but I really love it.
So did you become a corporate lawyer or a family lawyer? What happened about your studying?
I have 2 law degrees. So I started working as a lawyer it was about a year in New Orleans, where I went to university and then moved here. I believe that was 2003 when I moved here, and worked as a corporate lawyer here in the city for 5 years. So I was good at it. I mean, I'm good at writing, I'm good at analyzing and those things, not to brag on myself, but that wasn't the problem. It was just not my calling, if you know what I mean. It wasn't.
Yes. Yeah. Really... Was that with a big city firm?
It was a Colorado-based firm that had a London office.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the end, the office shut and I was made redundant. And that's when I considered different careers. Because I just couldn't. I mean, I went in-house, as we call it, with a corporation for a short time.
Yes.
But my heart wasn't in it. So that's when I really changed careers to this, to working with angels and healing.
Okay, we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah.
The environment in working in the city in London is completely different to anywhere else in the UK. I used to be chief executive of a law firm, so I'm very aware of very aware of the environment that you would have been working in. And it is something else altogether. So here we are, both doing completely different things that we were doing some years ago. So what you're doing now is working with angels, which sounds so far, away from being a corporate lawyer. I can't tell you. So how on earth did that happen?
Well, it's such a long story. I'll try to sum it up. I was I was working at a swimming pool in Colorado Springs, and I kept getting headaches, and I was 19, I think, and I was a lifeguard. And this really cool woman said, "Well, I can make your headache go away." And I said, "Well, how?" She said, "Well, just sit there and let me do it." I said, "Okay." So she held her hands over my face. She didn't even touch my face, and she took my headache away. And it happened several times. And I asked her what it was, and she said it was Reiki. I said, "Oh my gosh, wow, it's amazing." So I didn't really look into it then. And then when I went to law school, I was having a massage in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the woman started doing what she called energy work, and she wasn't even touching me. And it was the same kind of thing. And so I was interviewing her, and I was like, "What is this? I don't understand. This is so cool, amazing." So again, I did nothing because I was very busy studying law. So much reading all the time. It's just hours and hours of work. So when I came to London, I found it, I got into it again. I started having treatments just to kind of help with, initially with jet lag, and then to help with just general health. Then my teacher said, "Well, if you learn this, you're going to save money, and it's going to be easier, and you can just do it yourself." And I thought, that makes a lot of sense. So that's when I started learning Reiki healing, and then everything developed from there. It opened up my intuition more and more. I mean, I was a very psychic child, and I remember interacting with energies around me. I remember hearing things talking to me. I remember feeling things, some good, some bad, and being quite scared of it. So I tried to shut it down to the point that I just wanted a normal job, normal husband, normal life, all of these things. And when I started the Reiki healing, it kind of opened up even more, all the intuition, all of those abilities, but in a very uncontrollable way. I felt really, it felt chaotic. So I started studying and working with lots of things. I learned about mediumship. I learned about channeling, learned about psychic development, other healing modalities. I just really learned about everything. And the goal always was to control my abilities. And it wasn't so much to start practicing or start working in the field at all. It was to keep going as a lawyer and just be able to pursue my normal life more effectively.
So while you were day-to-day it's not 9 to 5 working in a law firm, I know that for sure, but to just say 9 to 5 job, and then you were studying intuitive healing and Reiki and all that kind of stuff, and channeling. So I mean, that's just that's wacky. That is completely bonkers. Did you tell anybody?
No, I had a secret life. Yeah, I had a secret life. I had a few crystals on my desk, and my coworker, he was a really lovely guy. He said, "Oh, are those for protection?" And he knew what it was about, but no, I didn't tell anyone. It was all top secret. But every weekend and evenings as well, I was studying and just working on this other project. So it was really
what did your husband make of that?
Oh my goodness. Well, we had different phases. There was a time when he thought I was crazy. I'll be honest. He really literally thought I was crazy. And I would say, "I'm just psychic. I'm not crazy. I just have to get a hold of my gifts. I have to get this under control." And he just thought, because it was a bit chaotic, all the information, and I felt really tired, and it was too much for me, and I'd pick up too many things just as I had as a child. And he thought that was just some mental imbalance. So, and I'm not saying it can't be in other people, but I knew in me it wasn't. So I just followed my intuition. I followed what I felt was right and continued my training. And then after that, he never really liked it. He always said he married a lawyer and he got a psychic or a healer. And I do feel like that's part of why things didn't work out, because we were just on such different paths. But eventually because I became a Reiki master teacher, and he eventually even took classes with the other students that I had. I didn't just teach him because that would be kind of strange, but he trained up to Reiki level 2, and he did find some enjoyment out of it, or some meaning out of it. But I would say in general, he wasn't super pleased. He liked the whole kind of more superficial corporate lifestyle. I call it superficial. I'm not criticizing him in any way. I don't actually have any bad feelings about that time of my life, but yeah, he liked the more I don't know, like normal lifestyle, which is what I had wanted at the beginning as well, and then everything changed. So
Okay, so are you saying now that your lifestyle is not normal?
no, now it's my normal. It's
A new
absolutely perfect.
normal.
It's my new normal, and I love it. But at that time, I just wanted to fit in. I felt like I'd never fit in. I felt like I'd always had a secret world, really, where spirits were talking to me, and I was feeling all these things, and it was quite lonely. And I didn't even feel like I could tell my family because, well, it's just not. It wasn't really talked about then, and I was from a small town and from a conservative family, and they were very Christian. And I didn't even know what it was. So I felt really uncomfortable, even from a small age. So I didn't associate it with anything nice, really. And when I started to learn, like I said, I just wanted things to stop.
Okay, so what is it, and what are these things that you're referring to? So
just all the information, all the feeling things around me, interacting with spiritual entities from a young age. It just felt really scary and chaotic. Too much information.
Okay, so for the skeptics that are listening to the show, what exactly is it that you do, and how do you do it?
Well, I do a number of things. I specialize in teaching channeling, which is a way of describing training to be an intermediary between this reality and higher dimensions or higher realities where spiritual beings, and I work with archangels, live. So it's a way of bringing in their guidance, bringing in their energy. They have really, really high level energy that's really helpful for humans. But it's not easy to make that connection on your own. So I guide people to the right energy, to the highest light. At the beginning, sometimes people can't tell the difference between it's a very busy universe. There's lots of energies. So my role is to guide them and teach them techniques to be able to open up to the energies for their benefit and for guidance. So that's my main thing that I specialize in. I also am a healer. So I work as an energy healer, intuitive healer, spiritual healer, whatever you want to call it. So I use those energies to help people in a one-to-one setting where I can help them to heal. I'm a trained medical intuitive, so I can also work with the body, and I'm an artist, so an energy artist. I paint spiritual energy into art.
Wow, goodness me. So angels, I'm not sure where to start. I'm just thinking about the listeners listening in, thinking, have they both completely gone mad? So, I remember reading a book some years ago. My granddaughter sadly died suddenly, and we were given a book by Lorna Byrne, Angels in My Hair, which I'm sure you will know about. And it's the most amazing book. It's very good for anybody who's experienced bereavement, and about knowing that angels are out there. And Lorna Byrne's story, is through the book. And she was saying the same thing in her book as you've been saying. As a child, having all of these sort of people talking to her, she also sees angels. Do you see them, or do you just hear them?
I feel them and see them. I feel them and hear them, and I have sensed them, seeing them like colors and light before, but I haven't. And I've had visitations from them where they've taken a human form, but I haven't actually seen an angel in front of me. No, that would be lovely.
That would be really weird. Really weird. I wonder if you would know if it was an angel or if it was something else. I don't know.
Well, that's the training. That's what I teach people, and that's what I've trained in, so I can tell higher and lower energies. So yeah, I think having worked with them so much that I would feel the vibration and know that it was angelic. There's a certain feeling to it. So, but I hope it happens.
Okay. So when you say about energies, you know, we're all energy, we're all vibration, and we all give off an energy. We give off an aura as well, don't we? So do you see the auras of people when you're doing your medical intuitive stuff? Can you see auras? Is that relevant in the work that you do?
It's not really relevant to my work. I don't really work with like the aura colors or any of that stuff. So I don't really focus on that. I haven't really tried. I probably could, I would think, but I focus more on just following the guidance that I get from my main guide, who's Archangel Metatron, and looking at what needs to be done in the person's energy field. But I do a lot of, I guess you call it timeline clearing, where I'll work with them as a child or in a past life, or work with different kind of levels or layers of their auric field. But it's not so colorful like that for me. It'd be nice, but it's more like light and dark. I might see muddy energy or feel muddy energy or feel an imbalance. And then when I see it being lighter and feeling lighter as well, then I know that the healing is happening.
So can you pick up what's wrong with somebody?
It's not really a diagnostic tool. I can sometimes. I don't really feel comfortable with it though. Like if someone came and said, "Do I have cancer?" or whatever, I wouldn't really feel. I mean, I could say if I sent something off, but I wouldn't really be comfortable saying whether it was that or maybe it was a trauma from when they were 5. You know, it's
not you just
really
know something's not right.
Yeah, so I really prefer to work with people that already know there's something wrong.
Yes.
And I don't do a ton of medical intuition. I do a lot more of the channeling and sort of like emotional and spiritual healing. But for the medical side of it, and I have had amazing healing stories with clients. So I'm grateful for that work when I have it, or when it's relevant. But yeah, it's more like when people already know there's something wrong, and then I can help work with them to make it better. That's what I prefer. But I don't really like thinking of myself or acting like a human MRI machine or something, or a psychic MRI machine. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to be very careful, don't we, on anything natural healing, because people think natural stuff is impossible, but of course we know it's not. You know, very much is possible. Just simple diet and lifestyle changes can make a huge difference to somebody.
Yeah.
So, what sort of stories do you have? What sort of healing stories have happened when people have come to you?
Oh, so many.
Nice.
Yeah, so many. When the most recent one is a lady from America who's in my advanced channeling class, and she hasn't had that many one-to-one sessions with me, but she's a gifted channel and very good at it. And she couldn't travel for like 2 years. She had an autoimmune disease, and she had high blood pressure and a couple other things wrong with her. I don't recall, but just based on being in the class and being in the high level energies, she had a healing, and she's been able to travel internationally. She's completely well. So I'm really grateful for that. I celebrate I'm here to help people, that this is why I changed my career. So I celebrate everything. Like every time, there's a really good result for someone. Not that I'm attached to the result, because you probably know as a healer, we have to be very objective, but I do celebrate it. So that was lovely. And I'm trying to think there's another client I have. She's actually also in the advanced class. She had a long-standing disorder that I can't really say what it was because it was quite personal. But it was a chronic disorder, and she'd had it for years and years and years, and had to be on regular medication for it. And it was quite a sensitive thing, and she's healed from that completely. So that's really good. She had quite a few one-to-ones with me. So that, I don't think that happened in the class. I think that happened from sessions. And trying to think of the others. It's funny because people forget that they were sick, because it's really nice how the energy works. It just kind of erases it. So it's like, oh yeah, that's gone. I forgot to tell you. Oh, the other client, she had chronic bladder problems, chronic, all kinds of stuff wrong with her. I don't remember all of it, actually. I don't have my notes in front of me. I would if I had it in front of me, but she did have a lot of stuff wrong with her. She had like very low quality of life. And the doctors, I get a lot of people that the doctors can't help anymore, because if it's an energy problem, really the doctors don't know what to do with that.
Yes,
So she had exhausted her resources with the doctors, and we worked together, and we had to clear a lot of old trauma from when she was young, because she was quite abused in her family, and she got well. So that was really exciting. And she's just thrilled, absolutely thrilled. So that's lovely. I'm trying to think of other ones. But there's been, chronic headaches gone, chronic backaches, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's miraculous. I mean, I love it. I love helping people.
Is there any sort of trend of what people come to see you? Any sort of challenges that they have that kind of fit into a pattern of things that they need you to help with? Or is it just sort of random people come to you, random things?
Right now I tend to get, if I can explain it, there are people who are on a spiritual path, and of course everyone's welcome, but I tend to get people who are on a spiritual path who are needing to release old energies, and they're feeling guided to release old energies, like from the past or stuff that's weighing them down, but they don't quite know how. And it could be with their families. It could be just, stuff that's happened. It could be some past life stuff as well. It usually is. And they just know that they need to move forward in a lighter way. Many of my clients are what I would call way showers or light workers. They are here to show the way for others. So they're trying to clean up all their stuff so they can be lighting the way for the rest of the planet. So I get a lot of those people. Lots and lots of family dynamics, lots and lots of that, whether it's trauma from the family, whether it's family stuff impacting relationships, or people having trouble, disconnecting from families that are lower vibration than they are. I do a lot of empowering people to be in their own energy and their own light and be in their own path while still having love and support from their community and their family, but not having it hold or weigh them down. I see a lot of empaths who are affected by energy and feel really drained and get tired. Lots of sensitive people, lots of people who are gifted, but they don't know how to use it. So, yeah, that's an example. Oh, I see lots of corporates. I see lots and lots of people like secret psychics in corporate jobs like me.
Really?
Like I was, yeah.
You're kidding. Get out of here. No way.
I have a lot of lawyer clients. I have a lot of high profile clients. Yeah. Yeah.
Good grief. How do they find you? How do they know about you?
Well, I don't know. They mostly find me through my website. I think they're drawn to me because I have a practical approach and I have that corporate background. So I'm very logical in my healings, in my sessions. I'm also the healer at Harvey Nichols in London and Knightsbridge. So that helps people to find me because I work out of the spa there.
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing. Goodness me. So you can go to a spa and see a healer?
At Harvey Nichols, you can. Yeah.
Wow. Goodness me.
Yeah. And they have them at Harrods, I think, too. They have them, they're in different places all over. But there's just me in Knightsbridge at the Harvey Nichols. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to shop there regularly when I was in London. Haven't been shopping in London for years, but yeah, it's a nice store. So how interesting. So your website, what's your website, Kristin?
It's www.Kristin, Kristin, taylorintuitive.com.
Okay, Kristin Taylor, intuitive.com. Brilliant. Okie dokie. Do you work with people over Skype or physically? I suppose you must do a whole range of different methods that how you help people.
Mostly over Skype. I use Zoom instead, but yeah, video conferencing and in person, but only at Harvey Nichols at the moment. And mostly it's online, I would say. And then I teach online classes, and I have a new actually online class that's not a live class, it's pre-recorded, but it's my introductory class, which is Learn to Work with Angels, which is amazing. I'm crazy about it. I'm so happy that I've launched that. I've launched a new online school called the Lightworkers Training Academy, and I also have my live online class, which is the advanced class, which is once a week for channeling.
Okay, and is this all available through your website? Well, if people go to KirstinTaylorIntuitive.com, they will then find Kristin Taylor. KristinTaylorIntuitive.com.
Yes.
They will find access to all of these different things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Okay, I must have I've looked at your site, but I think I need to have a bit more of an in-depth poke around. I think fascinating stuff. So I asked everybody for 2 song choices, and you've chosen "Blessed" by Martina McBride.
Mm-hmm.
And why did you choose that song?
I love working with angels, and I'm always reminded of how beautiful it is, and how when you're an angel person, you just have more fun, joy, happiness in your life, and everything's lighter. And I just love that. I love spreading that with people, and I feel like this song embodies that for me. It's just a really beautiful, uplifting song.
Okay, I haven't heard it. One of the nice things about doing this program is I get to hear other people's song choices. And, I've been listening to lots of them, and they're just stunning, absolutely lovely. The other one is "Walk On" by Reba McEntire.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's another one that is really uplifting, and it's more about, for me, it's about having empowerment and strength to get through challenges. There's a lot of beautiful lyrics in that about just, everything's going to get better, everything's going to be fine, and even if life is hard right now, it's all on the up. And I just think that's stunning. And they're 2 of my favorite country artists because, of course, being from America, and from a cow town, I really like country western music. So yes, I think those are both very inspirational.
Fabulous. Okay, well, thank you for spending time with us this afternoon, Kristin. And I will look forward to having more of a look and see what's what. Oh, actually, I noticed you're doing a talk at the end of September. Is that
Yes.
an in-person talk or an online?
It's an in-person meditation evening in central London near Blackfriars. It's on the 27th of September. And the theme is letting go of the past. So it's really good for light workers and anyone sensitive, really anybody, to let go of the past. But it'll be kind of like a group energy healing where I'll work with everybody to really have a good clear out. So yeah, that'll be amazing. And one more thing, my Instagram is my most up-to-date social media. I post a lot on there, so it might be good to check me out on that. It's Kristin Taylor Intuitive on Instagram.
Brilliant. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much, Kristin. Lovely to speak with you.
Thank you.